Hi, Essentials parents. I wanted to provide you a quick overview of some of the resources that are available to you in CC Connected for Essentials, because I think it'll be a really big help to you this year. This will certainly not be an exhaustive list of everything that's available, but some of the things that I have used as an Essentials parent that are just really great tools, and I want to make sure that you know where they are. So you want to log in to CC Connected and make sure that you are viewing as a parent. If you are also a tutor in Foundations or somewhere else, you will have that option, but log in as a parent. And then we're going to go to the Learning Center tab on the left here. Okay, when you get to the top, there's a welcome page with some overview information, but you want to go to the Essentials tab right here on the top. When you get there, you'll see that you're viewing the current cycle, so that's cycle 3. You are able to use this search bar to search for anything in particular that you might have in mind. So that is available to you. The cycle 3 first things has some great resources. So the question, that's Lee Borton's ebook you can access. You have a full copy of the Essentials curriculum, the 5th edition, the solutions manual, and the student packet. This is a lifesaver because if you spill coffee on your, physical copy that you have and need to print new pages, or if your child's charts get a little messed up during the year and you want to print new ones, you have digital copies right here. Another thing that I use a lot is the schedule. So if you click on that and then you launch it full screen, you can see here, this is kind of a schedule of the whole year, and it helps me stay on track with where we are. So where you are with your student. For week 1, you look across and it shows you what's going on in Essentials, the grammar portion, what's going on in the writing portion, IEW, what dress ups are we using, what are our vocab words, and then there's even literature suggestions of books your child could be reading or that you could be reading aloud that go along well with the cycle. So I love this. I actually print this and then put it in my students' binder so that we can access it when we need to and stay on track. So that is an excellent resource. Let me go back. Okay, so that's all under first things. I'm going to hit the little arrow here to pull that back up, and then you can see that there are resources for each week. So let's just choose cycle 3, week 4. Let's say we're on week 4 and we want to see what's going on. You will have a grammar snippet that helps you to understand the grammar portion of what we're talking about that week. If you're using the recommended spelling and punctuation rules, they are there. Any new charts that we're covering are linked here as well. And then I love this onward easing. This is something that I used every week last year with my student. It is available on each week. There's a new copy. I'm just going to launch it full screen so we can take a look. This is many pages long, so 41 pages. So it's not necessarily that you're going to have to print all of this or read every single word, but there's just some really helpful resources. I'm just going to hopefully not make you too dizzy and scroll through a few of these here. It gives you a week at a glance. So kind of what your responsibility is as the parent, and then things your student can be working on, focusing on. This gives you an overview of what's happening in grammar, what's happening in writing, and this is where I always grabbed the vocab definitions. So instead of having to go to a dictionary, I would just come here to the easing and grab the vocab words and their definitions. You can keep track of how many charts your child is copying, and some review of the vocab of what we learned in class in case you just need a refresher on what those things are. There's some math games and challenges, reminders of the 5 core habits. I'm just going to scroll a little bit quickly. The spelling words are there and space to copy them if you're using that number knockout board. Okay, then they have all the charts, the filled in and the blank, ATS, which we'll get into a few weeks into the year, and the quid it quo. If you're not there yet, don't worry. There's some editing exercises. And there are extra sentences. So in your EEL curriculum, you will get sentences each week for your student to practice parsing and diagramming. If it is your second or third tour and those sentences are too familiar for your students or too easy, there's additional sentences here, and then the answers for the question confirmation and the diagram confirmation. So those extra sentences are really helpful, especially if your student is a second or third year. And then there are some printables that if you feel like you want your student to have some worksheets, or maybe it's a slow week and you have time for a little extra, or you're on break and you want to review some skills, these are worksheets that you could print and give to your child that review the material that's been covered so far. And then they'll sometimes include games like word puzzles. There's some additional editing exercises. Here we go. Little crossword. Yeah, games, and then vocab word practice as well. So this has been very, very helpful. And then it goes over the normal sentences that are included with the curriculum. So that whole eZine is just a great resource and something that I have used pretty much every single week. Okay, let me go back. So all of that's found in the Learning Center. And as we move through the weeks of essentials, you can follow along with the weeks here. The other helpful thing is forums. Forums, if you click on that, this is where you can ask questions, where you can view posts from other parents, and there is a search feature here as well. So you can see there's an Essentials Parents tab. If you click that, it will show you all the different forums that have to do with Essentials, and you can also search. So if I am getting ready for Faces of History and I want to see what's available for resources, you could do Cycle 3 Faces of History and search that, and it will pop up with the forum articles that have something to do with that. So Faces of History ideas list. You can read a post. If there's a link connected there, you can click it and download anything, and it will show you. So I actually thought this was very helpful. Some men and women that would be potential Faces of History characters for your student. So the forum is very helpful for that. And can be a good resource to you. So hopefully that is helpful. I think those are really the main things to know. Learning Center for the weekly helps, and then forum for discussion. And again, I encourage you to hop in and really search around in CC Connected, get familiar with it, because there really are some amazing resources that can just make your year a little easier for you and your student.